Sherlock Holmes is known to be a genius detective. He is a master of deduction, analysis and observation. He has the uncanny ability to see things that others do not. But most people can train their minds to think a little more like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's famous character simply by emulating the way that Sherlock behaved. Teach yourself to make better observations and to analyze those observations more effectively. If you're up for an even greater challenge, build a mind palace or mind attic to store your information. As well, the memory palace technique is about changing your memories into images placed in a familiar mental location. The idea is that you can mentally walk through your palace looking at your memories to recall them. Learn how to use deductive reasoning and pay attention to detail. Pay attention, try not to fall asleep or daydream as much as possible. Understand the difference between seeing and observing. It is a well-known fact that Sherlock Holmes was an astute observer of his surroundings. In order to approach life problems in the same way, you should learn how to observe your surroundings carefully and gather all available evidence before making any assumptions or conclusions about what you've seen. Be selective. If you tried to observe everything you saw in full detail, you would make yourself exhausted and overwhelmed in no time. You need to learn to observe your surroundings, but you also need to be selective about the things you focus your attention on. Better quality is prized over better quantity. You need to learn how to observe things more thoroughly, not simply how to observe more things. The first thing to do in a situation is to size up what areas are vital and which are of no consequence. This takes practice, and there is not much else you can do to hone your ability to distinguish one from the other. Once you determine which aspects are essential, you need to observe them down to the smallest details. If the areas you observe do not provide you with the sort of detail you need, you may need to slowly expand your field of observation to other aspects of the situation you previously ruled out as being inconsequential. Make inclusive observations. Do not merely pay attention to what you see. Your observations should include mental notes on other senses, as well, including hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Focus on fine-tuning your senses of sight, sound, and smell. These three senses are the ones you rely on most, but they are also the ones you take for granted most. After you can use these senses objectively, move on to touch and taste. Meditate. If you want to develop your powers of observation, try meditation. It will keep your mind keen and make it easier for you to be aware of what is happening in the moment both inside yourself and around you. 6. You do not need to go out of your way to meditate. All you really need to do is to spend a few minutes a day shutting out distractions and building your ability to focus. You can focus on a specific image in your mind, or you could focus on an external image during meditation. The main idea is simply to make sure that whatever you are meditating on has your full focus. Try using your powers of observation by giving yourself a puzzle to solve. In order for this exercise to be effective, the puzzle should require you use all of your observational skills. People watching is another powerful yet simple challenge you can give yourself. Start with simple details, like the clothes a person wears or the way that person walks. Eventually, your observation should include details about body language and signs of specific heightened emotions. Take notes. You don't have to carry a notebook with you everywhere, but while you're on the way to becoming a super observer of life, note-taking can be helpful. Notes should include enough detail that when looking back at them later on, all your senses are engaged and it feels like living through that experience all over again. The process of taking notes forces your mind to pay attention to situations in detail. Hopefully, you will reach a point at which such notes will no longer be essential. At the beginning, though, this activity may help gear your mind toward observing instead of just seeing. Give your mind a break. If you constantly keep your mind on high alert, it will eventually burn out. Even Sherlock Holmes took breaks from time to time during particularly grueling cases, and letting your mind rest actually improves its ability to form accurate conclusions. Focusing too intensely on a problem can cause your mind to become worn out, and as a result, it will process information less accurately. Giving your mind a chance to relax can allow it to make connections steadily and subconsciously, so when you return to the problem, you might realize a seemingly obvious train of thought you hadn't noticed before your rest. Know the difference between impossible and improbable. Although you might be tempted to rule out a possibility if it seems unlikely or improbable, these possibilities must be allowed for. Only the impossibly, that which cannot be true no matter what, it can ever really be ruled out completely. Despite this, Sherlock Holmes is not a perfect detective. He can make mistakes, and he has made several throughout his career as a detective. But you can try to become a better person by following these tips. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Good luck.